Hello and welcome back to Everything Canada Soccer Podcast, episode 13. I'm your host, Jordy, here with Felipe as always.
Hey.
And how's your week, Felipe?
It was good, man. It's been busy. How's yours?
Yeah, that's good. Busy as well. Just started school. Well, it's my second week of school, so grinding that out now.
Yeah.
But
and
you know what?
Football this week on the Champions League too and things like that. So
yeah,
it's been at least for football, it's been a busy week too.
Yeah, right. No, watching Champions League during school always hits different. But anyway, without further ado, we are going to get into the Canadian national team's call-ups for their upcoming fixtures. And bam. So here we go. Goalkeepers, I don't think it's much of a surprise. Borjan, Crépeau, St. Clair. But I think that we'll see I don't think we'll see I'd be surprised to see Borjan start all the games. I feel like
I think that would be good to test, like I said, Dan Sinclair and Max Crépeau. Like I feel like Dan Sinclair would be really good to test. I actually don't remember seeing him with like a actually international friendly match or a tough game, harder game like in Colm Ball.
Yeah,
with him as a goalie. So I think it would be good to test him. But are we playing Uruguay, right? Uruguay and
Uruguay and hold on, who else? Japan, right? Isn't it? Or is that later?
I am not sure, but I know Uruguay would be a hell of a good test. You know what I mean? Because they are always major competitors to the World Cup. They always have to be. So it's definitely going to be a good challenge.
So it's Qatar, then Uruguay. Qatar, then Uruguay.
Sorry, Qatar?
Yeah.
Okay, so Qatar, you could put Borjan, just to leverage. You call him all the way from Serbia there, you might as well just use him. And right. I guess the harder team, you put it a goalie that you actually want to test it. Qatar, it's going to be, in my opinion, a relatively medium. We're quite used to the level. I think we'll be similar to the levels we play against Guatemala, Honduras, even Costa Rica, right? So we're quite similar to the level. But Uruguay is better than Mexico. You know what I mean? If they're they might even be better than the United States. So it is going to be a tough difference. Yeah.
No, I think So I think this is a chance to give a goalkeeper a chance. And honestly, and we still play Japan right up to the World Cup. Like November 17th, we have a friendly against Japan, which is that's pretty close. I don't remember teams having friendlies that close to the World Cup, but I think that's good because Japan's another just under Uruguay, around Mexico, sort of. That's where I put them, just under Mexico. So it's good teams, with good players that play professionally at high levels in Europe. So I definitely think that John Herdman's picked good teams to play against. So we'll go right into defenders. So the only one that sticks out to me that makes my heart feel is Joel Waterman.
Yeah, I feel like that's great.
That's amazing.
Like if we play with a line of three, Alphonso Davies will be out of the list, right? Because he will be as a midfielder. He'll be considered a midfielder, right? But looking at a line of three, which we know that Herdman likes to play like that sometimes. Sometimes the majority of the time. Alistair Johnston will be doing a CB, right, as a right defender. So we'll have Vitoria, we could have Waterman and Joel Waterman and him on the right CB position because Vitoria is quite slow. Like he is slow. You can see that it's better to have him centralized than him playing as a ball play defender on the side of the defense line. And then on the left side, you get Kamal Miller, Scott Kennedy, and Derek Cornelius. They're three left-footed defenders. I think that the three of them are fighting for 2 spots. I think that's a test. But again, there are 26 players coming to the World Cup, so you never know, right?
Right.
But
also, what I just realized or remembered, is that Atiba Hutchinson is still injured from an August 9th muscle injury.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why he's obviously not in here. I'm really worried about his fitness going to the World Cup. He's 39 years old. He'll be 2 months away from 40 years old when the World Cup ends. So I definitely think I think it'll be like a game time decision whether he does start or not. Yes, he'd probably be great against Belgium, but I don't know, someone like a Joel Waterman to come in. And honestly, Joel Waterman's been on the come up for a few years now. Ever since he got that move from Cavalry to Montreal, he just like keeps on just going up. And it just seems like he's getting his rewards.
I agree. Since he left the Canadian Premier League, and he's been going up, and I just feel like we have to think about the future generation too, right? Like we can't keep playing Steven Vittoria because most likely he won't play the next World Cup. Same as Atiba Hutchinson. Most likely they won't play the next World Cup. So I know Atiba plays as a defensive midfielder, but I'm just thinking, like, even looking at the midfielders list, right? Bringing a guy like Kone or like Samuel Piette, like you're thinking ahead. You're not just thinking about this World Cup as well, right? Because you know that if Atiba pulls his hamstring and cannot play this World Cup, who are you going to bring to be a defensive midfielder? Because Eustáquio and Mark Anthony, they do different functions, right? Who can you put to be protecting the front line? Samuel Piette would be a preference for that. So I just feel like it's a contingency plan. You know what I mean? It's like thinking two steps ahead rather than just thinking today. And I think that's good. That's a good decision. And Joe fall on that line, in my opinion. So everyone else in that defensive list is pretty normal. It'll be interesting to see where even though Davies is put as a defender there, it'll be interesting to see what John Herdman does because we're not trying to just win a game now. We're trying to work on our style of play, the way we play, how we press, how we set up, how we defend, all those fun things. So so we're not trying to throw Davies on as a striker, trying to get a goal or anything like that. We're gonna that's who I'll be watching Davies just to where he sets up these last couple games. Because I have a feeling he'll probably play in that left wing back spot if there's a back three. That's where I think that he'll end up being. A ridiculous video from him against Barcelona this week that he takes a 60-70 meter sprint, man, and it's like he passes 6 players from Barcelona and he's able to get it right before I think Rafinha
Rafinha just got there.
Was gonna get there, and it's just like, man, like his speed, it's phenomenal. And I think you brought that up a few podcasts ago, which was we're playing Belgium the first game, right? And because of the way that he knows how to defend European wingers, he might actually play as a left back during that match, right? So if we play with a line of 4, even a line of 5, he might play as a defender rather than a left winger, right? So
So no, it gives us a lot of flexibility, that's for sure. But onto the midfielders, which there's only 5, which is that's good because now you kind of know who you're going to play, but also it does not leave much room for injuries. If Eustáquio, for example, gets an injury before the World Cup or in the first game or whatever, we are desperately thin in that sort of region. Now, don't get me wrong, Piette, Kone, they're great players, but Eustáquio's, him and Mark Anthony Kaye have been that solid 2 in the midfield for the entire qualification of Canada, with an exception of a couple games. It's scary to think what we're losing with Eustáquio because again, he's another player that's starting to move up. I mean, his performances with Porto he's starting more games now. He's having more of an impact on games. You're starting to see him actually play up to his potential. Yeah. So I think having only 5 midfielders is a little scary. Hopefully, Ismail Kone can show that he has some quality, but isn't he not more attacking than defending?
More attacking. I feel like he will be, him and Osorio will be similar function. And
so maybe Piette's there for that.
Exactly, but I feel like I said, Piette, it's more like replacement to Atiba, in my opinion, because he's a bit heavier, he's stronger, he does have that defensive midfielder, first defensive midfielder kind of type. Of course, he can play more center, and he can do the function Eustáquio does, but he's not, I think, as agile, as fast, as good passer as Eustáquio is.
No,
Osorio could do that function, in my opinion. And I'll be honest with you, you'll be really. I heard this week rumors of Osorio going to Greece.
I saw that. Isn't it Olympiacos?
Panathinaikos or Olympiacos?
Panathinaikos, right? Yeah.
either one, if he goes, I think that'll be a great move for him because I don't know if Toronto will actually make to the playoffs the way he's
No,
going.
they won't make it. I mean, I think mathematically it's still possible. Will it happen? No.
So
So I think I'm risking it.
they're in Montreal. Montreal is, I think, second right now still. So, like they're not gonna have an issue making to the playoffs,
Right.
and they might be in better shape than actually Osorio is. So
Yeah.
That's what scares me from Mark Anthony and Osorio is them playing for TFC. Unfortunately, Larea is under the same scenario. We have a few other players, but that's just my side of the coin right there. But I feel like Kone can do both. Kone is a strong player, bro. I don't know if you had a chance to watch him.
I haven't watched much of him, no.
He is much taller than us. He's like 6'1", 6'2". Like,
okay, yeah.
He is strong physically. Like, he's fast. So sure, his offense is great, but he's a 6'2" midfielder. Like, he's not an easy body to move on the field. I'll tell you that. So if he focuses a bit, and he's young, he's 19, 20. If they decided to put him to work on defense, he will be able to execute it. That's my opinion. He does have the athleticism to do it.
Yeah. No, so honestly, it's a good 5 midfield. It's very good. Yeah. But I think it's Osorio starts, I think. If we're playing with an attacking midfielder, Osorio starts, no question. Eustachio starts, no question. So I think it's just a question out of Kay, Kone, and Piette. Either one of them fills that last spot. Who knows? It's for grabs. But onto the forwards now, which is like the bulk of everything. Is we got Brim, Buchanan. I think he's just getting injury, so I don't think he'll play a ton. Cavallini, Corbianu, David, Hoylett, Koleosho, Laren, Miller, and Ugbo. I think Ugbo makes it, no question. He's played a lot recently. He's always been called up in like the last 3 or 4 windows. He gets more minutes now. Like against who was it? Mexico. I think he played.
Oh, I
if my memory serves me correctly, it was 25 minutes or something. Like
I can tell you 5 players on this one that I think that I'm 99.9% sure they'll make it, which is Ike, like you said, Lauren, David, Cavallini, and Buchanan. Those are going to work out for sure.
I'd probably throw Hoylett into that as well. Who? He's a veteran. He's been
absolutely.
Junior Hoylett. I think
he was on my list. Like on that when we did that video, and I mentioned that like he's a guy that deserves it, and I absolutely agree with you.
So I think Corbiano and Brim though still have a lot, and Miller as well. Sorry, those 3 have a lot to show now. It's like I think that's why he's taken so many forwards now. I think he just wants. I don't think you'll see like Laren and all these other regulars get millions of minutes. I think they'll play what they're supposed to, and then maybe you'll see a lot more experimentation on how these other players fit into the system, because Jonathan Herbin's looking for soldiers to go out to battle in Qatar. He's not looking for people just to get little minutes here and there. It's literally just win or not win.
And Luca Koleosho is too young for me right now. Like, I mean, I feel like it's great to call him to get that experience. He's a guy that we shoot a project for the next World Cup. Charles Andreas Brand, I haven't seen how his stats are for this season, playing for Sparta Rotterdam, I think, right? Like in Netherlands. But he is a left winger, right? Like he does play left wing and second striker. So, I mean, he is a talent. He's probably 23, 24 right now. So I feel like he is a good player to use. Same as Theo is a young player.
Yeah.
But those might be players for the next World Cup, like I said. Cavallini next World Cup probably going to be 32, 33. Larry might be 29, 30. So I'm thinking that like having those young players there are more to give them experience and get them prepared for the future rather than for now. Because like exactly what we were discussing, like we need soldiers to go to war. And we need to get the ones that are more experienced at the moment. Now, I don't see anyone missing on this forward list that I can say, hey, I would wish to see this person here. Do you?
No. I actually don't know. Let me go on Twitter real quick, just on my phone, to see if anyone, because usually if I ever forget something, I instantly just go to the comment section because someone's gonna have something to complain about. So I want to see if anyone's like saying anything. Is Daniil Henry there?
For defense? No.
Yeah, Daniil Henry. That's probably one of them.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
But I think Waterman replaces Henry, and just think I'm a little biased because he played for Cavalry, and he's like a local here. I think Waterman's just on an upward trend at the moment. Henry, I feel like just is kind of stagnated in recent years. Obviously, he could still make the World Cup. Not even saying anything against it, but I think at the moment, though, in terms of form and overall projection, Waterman is easily the one to take. But it's kind of funny how sometimes Davies is listed as a forward and sometimes listed as a defender. It's like we just don't know what to where to put the guy.
Yeah. Like, some people in the comment section are pretty happy with it. Like, I mean, some people ask why is Atiba. We all know what's up, and then I think that's pretty much it. Liam Fraser, saw a couple comments on that. Like, sure, like I like he's playing second division in Belgium. He is playing regularly.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good player. Had opportunities before. I feel like it would be good to call him, but again, you are having Samuel there, Piatti, which is doing similar functions. So I think that's the priority right there. It's to focus on him.
Yeah. No, I think honestly the biggest omission would be Daniil Henry, but lots of time to go. I mean, like you could if you wanted to, you could easily take out a Brim, Koleosho, or Miller and replace it with Daniil Henry if you wanted an extra defender. I think we have a ton of defenders. I don't think we'll actually need that many. Like if we have potentially, because we have Davies, Adekugbe, Larea can play all like a left back, left wing back. Then we have a couple others that can play right back, including Tajon Buchanan. Like we are so flexible at the back. It's not even funny. It's like the middle of the park that we just seem to lack depth. But honestly, I don't think that'll be much of an issue. They're very mobile, our midfielders, besides Atiba Hutchinson. He's the complete opposite of mobile. All respect to him, but
yeah. I don't know if Daniil Henry it's like a great option right now. I mean, like he doesn't come from a good form. Like if you really think about it, like he left Korea to go play for LAFC.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to properly play LAFC, and then he got moved to Toronto right now. And we know how bad Toronto is doing defensively in the bottom of the line. So in the end of the day, I feel like the names there make Joe Waterman makes much more sense in terms of who is better at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Than Harry. With all the respect to Harry, he has a beautiful history. He played a lot for Canada national team.
Yeah.
But talking about moment and who is performing better, there is no way that Joel Waterman will be behind the line there.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, that is the Canada men's national team squad for games on September 23rd against Qatar and September 27th against Uruguay, that's the real test. That's more of a test than Mexico. It'll be the hardest game. Not saying that we're just going to try and scrape out a result or anything, but that is the caliber of team that we'll be playing against.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a reality check for us. Every time I watch the Premier League and watch De Bruyne just do his thing, I'm scared because I'm like, great, that he's playing against us. I come back to it every time, and it's just, man, it's still surreal that we are actually.
See that is a number 14 which is the attacking midfielder for Uruguay. His name is Jordan de Arrascaeta. He plays in South America. He's young, still like 24, 25.
Yeah.
He's probably the best South American player this year in South America, like in the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see him playing. It's nice to see. It's he's it's the guy that I told you that has the most assists.
Oh, that's right.
2022.
Right.
He has 21 assists by now. So
that's pretty incredible. Not to forget about Federico Valverde.
Cavani, Suarez are playing. Like,
is Diego Godin still playing, or is he retired? I can't even remember.
I don't know, but they have Facundo Pellistre on this team right now. Like, they call 32 players to this friendly matches. They called like a lot of players. I never seen a list that big for friendly matches than Uruguay's list. I know the Uruguay list because my team has 2 players on that list, right? So I watched the list to see if they were there. And yeah. But yeah, no, it's a good team. It's a big and good team.
So just a little, we're going to quickly, just before we leave, hop over to this little graphic from CPL News. Always creating good content just to show off Canada squad by clubs. So Montreal right now has the most with 5, Toronto FC with 3, Club Brugge with 2, and literally so many other clubs with 1. We do not play together, as this graphic shows, which is kind of funny.
Who is playing for Blackpool right now?
Would that be Corbianu? That's who it is. I'm pretty sure he got loaned out to Blackpool.
Right? Yeah,
from Wolves.
FC Eindhoven. Oh, FC Eindhoven is where Charles is playing, because he was playing for Sparta before, I think. Yeah, Basel it's Millar, LAFC Crepo, Panathinaikos is Cornelius, yes, it's Ike, Reading FC is Hoylett, Lille it's Jonathan David, Espanhol it's Coleocho, Eustáquio, then Borjan, Sam.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Who is Chaves? Who's playing for Chaves right now? Chaves is Portugal. Actually, I do not know that one. That's interesting. Because Johannesburg, it's John Kennedy. Sorry, John Kennedy. That's the name of the president. It's Kennedy. Bayer, it's Davis. Minnesota, Sinclair. Caps, we know it's Cavallini. And then Bruges at TFC and Montreal, we all know. But Chaves, I can't recall.
Let me see. Let's see. Well, let's look back on the squad here while we still have this up. Is it no? Cornelius plays for no. Not Cornelius.
No, Cornelius plays for the Greek one on the bottom.
Right. Yes.
I'll go.
Scott, who does Ismail Kone play for?
Who?
Kone.
Doesn't Kone play for Montreal?
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he plays for Montreal. Steven Vittoria plays for Chaves. Okay, because he was playing for Moreirense, whatever.
That's right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Because I never seen Chaves under any Canadian player's name, right? So.
Yeah. No, that's a good little.
He changed teams this
graphic season. Yeah.
No, that's an interesting graphic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It trained my skills here. See if I remember the logos.
Yeah, right. Testing your ball knowledge.
Exactly.
Anyway, we'll leave it off there. It's been great. Good to discuss all these things. If you think anyone's missed out on the Canadian squad, which we don't, but yeah, leave a comment.
Go to Twitter, complain.
Yeah, go complain. Complain under the video, even like it's not our fault. But hey, or tell us who you would start with against Belgium on day 1, or day 2 against Croatia, or day 3 against Morocco. Tell us your lineups. And yeah, that's it for this week. We will see you next week. Have a great day and peace.
Peace.